Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. I'm going to talk about some of the big movers today like EOS and Stellar, also go over my normal schedule of Rayblocks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, OmiseGo, Lisk, Cardano, and Iota, all of those in a technical analysis in that order in just a second. Other than that, if you're interested in monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities, you can check out my premium content. I actually saw some opportunities that I like a lot right now, and I probably will be making a buying opportunity video, maybe even two in the next few days. So now would be a good time to start your subscription. And other than that, if you're interested in 5 high return cryptocurrencies for your 2018 portfolio, this includes some hidden gems that I've never talked about before. You can find all of that on my premium content. Link to that in the description of this video. Otherwise, if you want to start trading altcoins, go check out Binance. I also have a link to them in the description of this video. Let's get started with the general market update. Not that much to say. Over the past 2 days, we saw a lot of shakiness, a lot of pullback for many cryptocurrencies, and we're now starting to see most of them bounce, so that's a great thing, and a lot of them are recovering from some downtrends, so they're in a pretty interesting position right now. We're going to start off with Rayblocks. Rayblocks obviously experienced some consolidation over the past couple of days. That's due to several reasons. You know, there was a couple exchange issues, stuff like that, but what we're seeing right now is actually very interesting. We had a bit of a pullback, right, due to some drama, the South Korean FUD and everything, and we got a really nice inverted hammer candlestick that was followed by a confirmation strong green candlestick that even looks like it might break above the previous candlestick right here. So I like this setup a lot. I think it's ready to bounce already. We'll see how high I'll get on this specific bounce, but I think that we can pretty quickly get back to 211,000 Satoshis, even 220,000 Satoshis because of this breakout right here, and a lot of buying volume on that inverted hammer candlestick. So I just drew in this downtrend line over here, and as you can see, you can modify it if you would want to be a little bit more stricter. We can see that we're trying to break out of it here, but if we're a little bit more lenient on it, we're already starting to get that breakout of the downtrend, right? And it just makes sense with the general downtrend move followed by the inverted hammer candlestick. Pretty high chance that we see the price move up pretty quickly, like I said, back to that 220,000 Satoshi level. So I like Rayblocks a lot right here, to be honest, and we're going to go over now to some of the other cryptos that are moving a lot today, like Stellar Lumens. So Stellar Lumens, as you can see, up about 24% over the past 24 hours. It kind of bounced on the bullish Ripple news. It has been very strong recently, as you can see, got that strong pullback, but now already bouncing really nicely off the middle band and even made its way back above our primary uptrend line right here. What's interesting with this move is that we had broken below that, already got back above it, even though it was pretty steep. So not an easy thing to do. Good buying volume as well here. And now what we have is resistance from our previous uptrend line. So we're currently in this pretty steep channel, uptrending channel that should be able to carry the price higher. So I kind of expect the price to trade in between these two trend lines and slowly but surely here move back towards the all-time highs, right? And we'll be looking to see if we can get through the resistance at, let's see, around right under 6,000 Satoshis to really confirm that we can get back towards the highs. And the indicators are looking pretty good here, as you can see. About to get that crossover on the MACD and about to go over that 70 line on the RSI as well. So I definitely like the indicators there, and we're going to go over to EOS now. I talked a little about EOS in a previous daily crypto up here not long ago. So let's see what's happening now with good old EOS, and it looks like continuing that breakout basically. Didn't get much of a pullback at all, and now that I'm thinking about it, it was actually green during most of the down days that we had recently. A lot of buying volume. Price keep on moving higher. Looks like we put in an all-time high of 111,000 Satoshis. Still continuing that uptrend. We are trading severely above the upper Bollinger Band, so do realize that that's usually pretty hard to sustain. Usually we will start to re-enter pretty horizontally in that Bollinger Band range. That's just logic, right? It's just because it's too hard to trade above the upper Bollinger Band. This can be seen time and time again, right? If you just look at the previous price action around those levels, and just look at the indicators, we're trading at 81, pretty high, but it's still looking strong, so don't get me wrong. We'll be looking for I'm going to go ahead and draw in some uptrend lines here to make this a bit more clear, but we have this new uptrend line over here, and even a more short-term uptrend line right over here. So once we break out of this one, we can see things start to slow down a bit more. Until that happens though, it looks like it's going to keep on climbing, but it is definitely a bit overextended right now. So just something to keep in mind. We're going to now start our normal schedule here with Bitcoin and take a look at how it's been doing. So let's see. Bitcoin is got that double bottom here at $12,833 and now broke back above $13,673. So pretty important support level right there, and getting a confirmation on this current candlestick. So pretty flat for the time being, but with how it's looking, I think we can definitely test this middle band again. That's at $14,707. We'll see if it will be able to get back above that, and see if we will reject that or be able to move above it. That'll kind of set the trend if we're going to move back towards that $15,000 mark. But overall, Bitcoin is definitely looking better, right? And bounced off that 43 level on the RSI. Still not looking great on the indicators. We do want to see things start to flatten out a bit more there. But I think that we're going to hold above $13,673 at the very least now, and probably slowly but surely start to climb in the middle of this range, and you know, in due time get back to $15,000, right? But we want to see that strength, the confirmation of that strength come back in, which for now we broke out of the short-term downtrend line, which is already very good, but we want to see a strong candlestick here that really shows that things are back in action for Bitcoin. Let's go over towards Ethereum now and see what's going on. Ethereum, one of the stronger cryptos out there, no doubt about it, and it's proving that once again. So it did also take a little bit of a hit here because of the South Korean FUD, got that double bottom on $1,091, and now coming back up very quickly, back above the uptrend line. So we didn't lose that now, we're back above it, and we're getting back towards that final resistance level basically before making a move towards the highs. That's at $12,089. So, sorry, $1,289. Once we get back above that, we should be able to reach that upper Bollinger Band previous highs pretty quickly, right? The previous all-time high is $1,386. I'm going to go ahead and put in a horizontal line right there just so you see where that is. And indicators still looking strong. Definitely took a little bit of a hit, but already recovering pretty nicely, and still in bullish mode for now. So we'll just need to see if we can get back above that $1,289 mark. That'll be pretty indicative of if we can really get a lot of strength going here once again for Ethereum. Let's go over towards Litecoin, and Litecoin has been tracking the price of Bitcoin recently. That's what we're seeing today once again. So it managed to break out of the downtrend, very good sign. Hopefully we can get a strong candlestick like we did the previous time. That'll really mean that things are back up and running fully, but this is already a very good sign, right? It has been acting very weak, struggled a lot with downtrending, and the fact that it's now out of its short-term downtrend is a very good sign. The one thing that I will warn you about is that we do still have a lot of downward pressure, right? We've got the middle band at $248, that's downtrending. We also have this green downtrend line that I put in right here, and those will obviously put some pressure on the price. So to be completely in the clear, we'd have to break out of those two. And once we manage to do that, we should be pretty quickly moving back towards $267 and then $300. Also, the Bollinger Band range is pretty compressed right now, which means that the upper Bollinger Band will also act as some resistance, right? Indicators still downtrending, but the good thing is that they've been downtrending for a while, and it probably will be very soon that we'll see it start to flatten out, right? Which will be the first indication for the beginning of the crossover, really. Let's go over towards Ripple. Ripple got some bullish news recently and kind of got sparked back into action because of that, which meant that it was able to already cover pretty nicely from the drop. So it went all the way down to $1.50. That's what I predicted in my previous videos. Now made its way back above the middle band. That's at $2. And we're currently trying to get back above that $2.03 resistance level. Once we get back above that, it'll act as support, and pretty important level to get back above, right? It looks like it's struggling with that right now, so that's definitely something to pay attention to, because if we see it fail that, we could maybe move back towards this uptrend line right here, which would be fine, but it would definitely slow the comeback a little bit. Now, if we do manage to get above $2.03 pretty quickly and then really hold above that, we should see it get back to $2.50 pretty fast, right? That could really be a V-shaped bounce right there. And RSI flattening out pretty nicely. Want to see it cross above 60, but the indicators are still downtrending, so there does need to be a little bit of time before those flatten out as well. We're going to go over to NEO now and see how it's been doing. So let's take a look at NEO. NEO looks like it made its way back above the uptrend line, now even getting back above that little double top there on the two previous candlesticks. And I think it should be able to, it's been very strong as well. Definitely got a strong pullback, but already came back with a lot of strength. So I wouldn't be surprised to see NEO put in new all-time highs probably within the next 2 weeks, I would say. So once we break above $129, we should be able to break above the all-time highs pretty quickly, right? All-time high is at around $135. As far as the indicators go, still looking strong on that MACD, still uptrending very nicely. Histogram keeping up that strength and back above some support levels on the RSI. So we just need to break above that 70 line and we should be good to go. Let's go over now towards some of the next cryptocurrencies. Next up is going to be Vertcoin and see how Vertcoin has been doing. Vertcoin obviously went through some weakness here. As you can see, dropped almost all the way down to $4.85. The good thing is that it looks like it's starting to come back up a little bit. So to take a look at what's happening, we can see that we're flattening out a bit on the MACD, crossed back above the downtrend line on the RSI. So that is a good sign. We did it with some more strength this time around, which is good. We want to make sure we get that crossover on the MACD though. That'll really be the indication for when we're ready to at least see a bit of a bounce, right? And that would probably mean breaking out of this downtrend line for one, but still a lot of downside pressure, unfortunately, for Vertcoin. And don't be surprised if we see it not be able to get back above this downtrend line. There's no real way to tell. We'll just have to see what happens. If we don't, though, probably consolidate a bit more in this area. If we do manage to get back above that, we should be able to get back above $6.35, but there's just a lot of resistance in this area up until $7.21, right? So not going to be easy for Vertcoin's price to get back up just yet, but not impossible either, you know what I mean? Let's go over towards Monero now and see how Monero has been doing. So let's take a look at Monero now. If I can get it on the right exchange, let's see, Bittrex. And it looks like Monero is not acting that strong, got a nice little bounce. Kind of what I predicted, basically. Gonna move towards $400. Looks like we may see a little bit of consolidation here still because the indicators aren't looking that strong yet, kind of just flat for the time being. And the good thing is that we're back above the middle band, so we're probably going to trend higher along that. Even if we do come and test it, that's at $367. So overall, I think we may consolidate a little bit more here, but pretty shortly we should be able to get back above $400. I'm not too worried about Monero. And, you know, it's in its own little privacy bubble, and I'm not saying bubble in a bad way, I'm just saying in the privacy sector, really, I should say. So it is just, it tends to act a little bit differently sometimes, and benefits from that, to be honest, a lot of the time, right? It just seems to be a little bit more resistance to some of the drops usually. Let's go over and take a look at how OmiseGo has been acting. And OmiseGo back above that $22 level, so that's a great thing, and still uptrending very nicely on that middle band actually, so didn't lose any type of strength there. You can see that that's really what's been supporting the price throughout this whole uptrend. Testing that orange line, so we'll see if we'll get a bounce or a crossover there. That is pretty indicative of the strength, right? If we get a crossover, not going to be great. We could definitely move lower, but if we're able to see a bounce, that's going to be really good right here. Especially that's kind of aligned with the previous peak there. And otherwise, same thing on the histogram really. RSI though is where there's some interesting things happening because we're in the symmetrical triangle formation, holding this uptrend line for the time being, and to whichever side we break out of. So if we break to the upside, price should be able to move back towards the highs. If we break towards the downside, probably going to see some consolidation or pullback, right? So I would say that's what we're going to have to look for as we move forward as far as OmiseGo is concerned. And we're going to go over towards Lisk now to see how it's been acting. So Lisk got a nice double bounce there on the middle band and the primary uptrend line right here. So this uptrend, the previous uptrend line is acting as resistance. So we do now have a bit of a channel here in the making. I'm going to go ahead and extend that a little bit so you get a better picture of what I'm talking about. That's this channel right here, so we could trade along these two trend lines as we move higher, which I think is what's going to happen. I don't see us losing this uptrend line right here for the time being. And indicators kind of flatten right now, just got that crossover on the MACD, so it looks like if it's going to be able to get back above $30 and really hold above that, we should see all these indicators turn bullish back again pretty quickly, or things are going to move a little bit more horizontally, a little bit more slowly, and that should leave some time for these indicators to do their thing, flatten out a little bit, pull back a little bit, and then we should be ready to get back going for Litecoin, for Lisk. I do overall like Lisk here. I think that it's being a bit undervalued, right? I talked about that in my top 3 skyrocket cryptos video. Let's go over now towards Cardano and see how it's been acting. Cardano is experiencing a nice bounce today, and what I like with Cardano's move here is that we can go ahead and put in a new support level over here at around 6,275 Satoshis. What I like with Cardano here is got this nice bounce on the MACD, right, soon after crossing over. Same thing on the histogram, and looks like it's getting back up towards that 70 line pretty quickly. What I'm trying to say is that it definitely got a pretty harsh pullback, as you can see, right? Went all the way back down to that middle band, which we hadn't done in a while, and that's been a pretty good buying area based on the previous history here, the past 2 times. So, of course, that's not financial advice, that's just my opinion, but it is definitely looking like we put in a bit of a bottom here, and we're already coming back up really nicely. With that being said, still have to get those bullish crossovers now on the indicators to really confirm this move a bit further. But we're back above $6,275. I think we're probably going to stay above that. The one thing, though, is to be really back into full breakout mode, we'll have to get back above 7,549 Satoshis, right? So I do think we might consolidate a bit more here, but overall, we should be moving back towards the highs pretty soon here. I think within the next month, probably even have put in new all-time highs. Let's go over towards the next cryptocurrency, which is going to be, and the final one actually for today is going to be Iota. See how it's been doing. So Iota is trying to get back above this middle band, it looks like. At least it's holding above $3.42. Don't think it's going to drop back below that now. It tested that a couple times and didn't ever manage to fall lower. So I think we're in the clear as far as that is concerned. Indicators trying to flatten out right now mostly. Same thing with the price. And we're just in a bit of a consolidation. That's all there is to say for Iota. So once we break above $4, that'll be the indication that we're really back to maybe the explosive growth, or at least get back towards the highs. But until that happens, I expect some consolidation, especially with this flat middle band. And yeah, if we manage to get back above that, start moving towards $4, get back above that, those will be the signs to look for as far as really getting a little bit of an uptrend going here again. Also, should put in the downtrend line that we're going through right now, which is this green line right over here. So that's another sign, if we manage to break above that with a strong candlestick, good volume, that could be another sign that we're ready to move back up, right? With that being said, everyone, thanks for watching. Keep in mind that if you want to get more from The Right Trader, check out the premium content. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching, everyone.